How's everyone? Yeah.
Oh, when I talk, I'm just.
Okay, you want to bring it now so that we can get it all situated? And if it's okay, can I put this here?
Yeah, that works.
All right. But I can have at least have the one.
Oh, sorry.
The dressing is really good. I
Yeah,
heard.
she made it. Everything handmade.
Okay, here, let me help you.
I just asked Stephanie, I didn't see it.
Yeah, the. Don't have plugs. Is your computer not plugged in? You can use the, you can put it there if you want.
All right. Yeah, I could just read it from here. No way. I have a brand new computer and I'm.
Yeah, no worries. You sure you don't want to use this up here?
The body is, no, it's okay. Well, when I start, I'll get very, no big deal.
All right, well, we're about to start now. All right, good afternoon, KW South Bay. How's everyone doing?
Good.
Awesome. Everyone have a wonderful weekend. Any ahas that you'd like to share over the weekend? I know we had the grand opening. I don't know if you remember last week. We had a salesperson by the name of Jessica that came out and said that they were having a grand opening in the city of San Pedro.
It was great.
It was good?
Yes.
Awesome.
It was great.
Awesome. Yeah.
You're right, the units are excellent.
Yes. And the beautiful thing is, if you do have anyone that's interested in buying out in San Pedro, you don't have to do any paperwork. You just direct it. They handle all of the paperwork, the purchase agreement, the yes for the title,
Yes.
and all of the due diligence. And once they successfully close,
Yeah.
you get paid a
Oh,
full
that's
commission.
good. Yeah.
So, yeah, take advantage. And this is why you have to be the local expert in the community and know what's happening out there, because these are opportunities that you can link individual buyers and sellers, right? That's what we do. So I'm super excited. Are you all ready?
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, let's go get it started. Next slide, please. All right, please make sure to silence your phone. So this is an opportunity, and respect to all of your colleagues, please silence your phone. Next slide. All right, our mission, our belief, and our vision is to provide agents to provide, sorry. One of those days.
Gotcha.
It's to, and so I'm human, by the way.
Exactly.
I'm human.
You're not AI.
Yeah.
No chat GPT.
Oh, gosh, that is hilarious. But it happens. Our mission is to provide agents with a place where they will be empowered, trained, and motivated to experience growth, wealth, and a legacy that allows them to live their best life possible. Our beliefs: when the values of your own company align with your own beliefs, you know you found your professional home. And our vision, right? To achieve amazing professional, personal development so that KW South Bay remains the agency of joy. Give yourself a round of applause, please. All right, next slide, please. As a reminder, you've got your support team here. Awesome. Next slide. In our ALC, by the way, tomorrow, Thursday, we have Fred, who is going to be spearheading tomorrow. Ask Your ALC. So come and listen and pick his brain. Throw all kinds of jabs and punches at him. I got your back, Fred. But he'll be our guest speaker. Ask Your ALC member. So he'll be on it tomorrow. Awesome. Next slide, please. All right, let's thank our launch sponsor, Christy Jenny. How are you?
Guys, Christine, oh, Marty. I gotta tell you, I always love coming here because you guys are always just full of happiness. I love that. I want to make sure that all of you had the pleasure to meet my new partner in crime, Kayla Gonlon. She's with my NHG, National Hazard Disclosure, and together we offer one-stop shop. So you can just email me the purchase contract with escrow information, and we can do your NHG and home warranty all at the same time. And with that being said, I want to ask you one question. The next time you go to write in your RPA, I want you to really look at page 3 and think to yourself, how is my buyer going to feel about this dollar amount I'm allowing them and this plan that is intended for them after the close of escrow? Just one question, because if you think for any minute that they might need a new AC, a hot water heater, a furnace, those are where we spend most of our dollars, right? A lot of people say, oh, I'm gonna go with the basic because there's no washer, dryer, refrigerator. We spend the least amount of money, first in roof, second, washer, dryer, refrigerator. We spend most of our money on plumbing, heating, and electrical. And which plan you choose, which tier you choose, it matters to your homeowner. And I know that when they have a service issue and they find out that you could have paid $150 more, and now they're out $2,000.
Yeah.
I'm always going to do my very best to turn it around upside down, but they're upset. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
the homeowners are getting very savvy. They look up the plans. Why didn't I get this? Why is this not covered? There's a bunch of whys. So the next time you look at page 3, I just want you to hear my little voice, whether you're
Yeah.
choosing my company over public or somebody else. Questions still remain.
Right.
My only job is that your buyers are happy with whoever you choose. And which, no matter if it's my company or someone else's, which plan you choose really does matter.
It does.
And I just want to, you know, remember that and let us know if you need something. I made chicken pot pie. I hope you like it. Who in here was saying it's their first time? Did I pass or
Oh,
fail?
for some having chicken pot pie. Oh, my God.
So I just want you to know I'm so grateful to be a part of this
Look at
family.
you.
I live down the street and you guys are my favorites and I just want to thank you for being so kind always. And we have a little prize that Kelly just dropped on the floor. She's in training.
Please disregard that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe Simon should choose.
I was just gonna say,
Uh-huh.
Simon, close your eyes.
I can close my eyes. All
All
right,
right, it's the lucky winner.
let's continue here. And. Oh, Eric Claudio.
Nice.
Awesome.
Where are you going, my friend?
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you guys.
Generous.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Awesome. Please take advantage of all of our affiliates. She steps up, she's committed, devoted, dedicated, loyal,
Yeah.
and she's here to support you and your clients. And, you know, on the many conversations I've had with her, she is there to help navigate your home warranties. You know, and she steps up, fights for you, probably battles with her company every once in a while, but she's in it for the heart, right? To support and obviously to earn your business. So please make sure when you're negotiating these agreements to utilize Old Republic home warranty.
I look sweet, but I'm quite bossy.
Love it. Let's give her again a round of applause. Thank you. Beautiful, awesome. All right, let's continue next. Awesome. Sorry.
No, I'm.
Just a quick reminder, we have our KW chili cook-off, all right? Who was here last year? Yeah, wasn't that awesome?
Good.
Yeah,
Really
get
good,
to taste all different types of chilies, so come with an appetite,
Yeah.
be ready. And we definitely have a sign-in sheet here too as well. So I failed,
Uh-huh.
Natalie gave me an F last week, she didn't see the sign-in sheet. So I'm gonna do this today, so please, if you're interested in participating, there is a first, second, and third prize. Sign up, okay? It doesn't have to be necessarily chili, it can be any other stuff, you know, we're looking for baked potatoes, cornbread, salads, chips, tacos, or your favorite dessert. So anything that you can make this experience awesome, but also to collaborate with one another too, you know, and to have great chili at the same time. Okay, thoughts, questions, concerns? All right, let's continue. Next slide. All right. this is the cool thing. Last year was our first year, I think we did it, right, Al? When it came to the Halloween office door contest, so we're doing that again. So again, you can be a support to any of the agents that have their private offices to help them win this contest. So we're doing it again this year. So if you see in the next couple weeks, we're going to start, decorating. I think I had The Exorcist in my window.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I literally had The Exorcist on my window. It would freak people out. And the reason it would freak people out is because it had a sensor. So that she would make that sound, and guess what? Her head would do a 360 turn. Yeah, I love
Remember
it.
that big guy?
Yeah, then I had the Texas Chainsaw
I got you,
Massacre too as well.
Yeah.
But in essence, the spirit of Halloween, we're one of the, in my opinion, one of the biggest market centers that we do really do such an amazing job with the Halloween event. We also have our Halloween party as well. So if you want to participate, get together with some of the agents that have private office to help decorate. With that follows our Halloween party, costume, office, decorations, context, prices. We are going to have a DJ like we did in the previous years. So come in to dance, to have great food, and please make sure to RSVP, right? So it's open to you and to your family members, right? And if you do have children, please make sure that you monitor your children as well, because it is an adult function, but it is also a family function as well, okay? So if you're interested, that'll be October 30th, 5:30 to 8:30 in the afternoon, okay? So it's a great time. It really just the spirit of Halloween, and we get to see some really cool costumes as well. Some are creative, some are awesome, and some are scary. So if you haven't been, please make sure to be part of this event. Okay. All right. Next slide, please. All right. This is so cool. Most of you have already known about KW, basically marrying Canva. So the KW Coastal Office is having on September 22nd and Friday, September 26th from 2 p.m. to 2:30, and in person and also Zoom on the integrations and how to utilize Canva, unlocking your free KW Canva account, brand like a pro, save time, import and organize your old templates, create stunning marketing in 30 minutes or less, and then Canva hacks and pro tips. So if you're interested, please make sure you copy that Zoom link, register for it. The beautiful thing is it's also going to be on Zoom as well. So, but if you prefer to go in person, it's more hands-on, then I would encourage you to go to the Long Beach office. Okay, all right, let's continue. Next slide. All right, if I could get Fred up here for a minute, and let's get Fred over there. Hey, how you doing?
Listen, how many agents do you think KW has nationwide?
Thousands and thousands. Thousands.
25,000.
Nationwide, we have 185,000 agents.
Wow.
185,000 agents. And they have only 180 KW approved trainers. And so I have taken the step to launch my career into trying to become a KW approved trainer. Okay? Yeah, come on. In order for that to happen, I have to teach KW approved courses. Okay? And so I'm starting the process on the 29th, 30th, and the 2nd. And I want all of you all to join because mindset is key to your business, right?
Yeah.
If you don't have the correct mindset, guess what? You're not going to make it. Whether you can or can't, you are absolutely correct. So if you say you can't do it, guess what? You're absolutely correct. If you say you can do it, guess what? You're absolutely correct. So we're going to be talking about the 6 personal perspectives that mega agents use in order to build their business. It's going to be it's usually a 6-hour course, so we're breaking it up into 3 days for 2 hours because I know you don't want to hear me talk for 6 hours straight. But go ahead, it'll be on a Monday from 12 to 2, Tuesday from 12 to 2, and then Thursday from 10 to 12. That will be the culmination, okay? And you're gonna get a certificate saying that you completed the 6 personal perspectives, which is a KWU approved class that I have to teach. And guess what? You guys get to review me. Wow.
Evaluate.
Evaluate me. I'm putting my life in your hands, right? So I really would love for you guys to sign up. You can click on the QR code and go ahead and register, put your name, your phone number and email, and then I will reach out to you, get you all the information you need. But I would love to see you there to make that happen for me. Is that great?
Yeah.
I want to be the 186th KW approved trainer. Is that all right?
Yes.
Thank you.
Isn't that a great looking photo, by the way?
Yeah.
Next to what?
Do I look like that?
You definitely do.
Okay.
Now, this is again, part of a process. If you in the future, you want to step up and be approved by KWs, these are some of the steps that you need in order to facilitate and be up in the front of people, educating them, navigating them, and providing them with resources and training and education to be able to help them grow their businesses. So again, thank you for the leadership, Fred, and yeah, we're definitely going to support you on that. So cool. All right, let's continue. Now we have our guest speaker. Where is our guest speaker? Let's give Myra Diamond with Financial Fitness a round of applause. I had the opportunity to chat with her, and literally we were talking for about a good 20 minutes and kind of just hearing her story. It's amazing. And before you knew it, it was like, oh my gosh, we got to get ready for the sales meeting. I didn't know how quickly conversations can lead into opportunities. So I know we've been going back and forth for several months, missing calls, emails, and back and forth, but we finally have you here. So thank you again for coming in and providing us with some valuable information. So this is Miss Diamond. So she's going to provide you with some insight. She's also has a podcast, right? A podcast. Okay, it's been a podcast. But she's going to stress the importance of financial fitness, right? So without further ado, let's get started. Yeah,
Simon.
appreciate it.
Sorry, you guys, I have to get this thing. Okay, there we go. So I was looking at my notes, and believe it or not, I spoke with Simon 2 years ago in 2023.
Yeah.
During the pandemic, things kind of went, a little sideways. So I kept working and kept doing things, but it's difficult to talk about money on Zoom. Yeah. So I put the brakes on for a while, and then I revived my business. So why am I speaking to you guys? I love realtors. And I was telling Simon, I'm a broker myself. I sold new homes for builders for 10 years. It was a long time ago. I had some great years and some really tough years. And I still have my broker's license because you know what it's like to get a broker's license. It's a lot of work, right? So I maintain it. But I've been in my industry now for over 15 years. And so here's the thing about entrepreneurs, and we're all entrepreneurs, right? We're all entrepreneurs because we're independent. We think for ourselves. We don't like to be told what to do. Wait, I'm describing me. That runs through our veins. And like Simon was saying, he's driven, I'm driven. You have to have a little fire in your heart and your belly to get up in the morning and go out there and hit it all over again. And I think that's the exciting part. So the thing about entrepreneurs is that we don't have 401ks that we could contribute to, right? We're independent. We don't have life insurance. The company will offer us. And so I built my business helping entrepreneurs because we all need that help, right? And when I started in this business, I said, oh my God, everything's on my shoulders. I have to do my own taxes, my insurance. Wow, how do I do that? And that took a while to figure out. And this is why I take my show on the road and I have so much fun with it. But why financial fitness? Well, my first career, I was a trainer I ran health clubs. Actually, I trained people for about 5 minutes. And they said, you know, you have a personality, get in there and sell a membership, lock the door, don't come out without a contract, you know, those days.
Yeah.
At Bally's, that was me. So it's the best thing that happened to me because I learned about sales and marketing and of course fitness, and it stayed with me. And I still go to the gym because that's my first stop in the morning and I love it. But I found that fitness and finance are parallel. I have my little cheat sheet in case you forget some. They require discipline, they require endurance, and mostly tenacity. Tenacity for longevity, right? We always hear about that. Oh, let's do the Japanese walk. Let's do weights 4 times a week. Oh, that's not as good. Let's do the on and on. Just move. Just get up, go outside and walk. It doesn't matter as long as you do something. So I usually do this at the end, but I think we'll do it in the beginning this time. It's a lot more fun to break the ice a little bit. So I have 4 $2 scratchers, and I'm going to throw out some questions, and please don't yell them back. Raise your arm, and see how I test our knowledge of finances. So first question, I'm sure you're all saving money, of course. A lot of these rules are IRS rules. They're not Mario rules, they're not product rules, they're IRS rules, right? So just basic IRS 401ks, pre-tax dollars. Does anyone know what the maximum amount is that you could put away each year? Starting the 5th year. Not your age, how much you could put away when you're working, pre-tax dollars.
No, raise your hand.
Again, no, okay, yes,
5,000?
no,
7,000?
no. No, we're talking about pre-tax dollars, they're all good number, I know what you're thinking, those are Roth IRA, after tax dollars, but I'm talking about your basic 401k, yes.
70,000.
Wow, that's a lot, I wish that was true, but it's not, no, yes.
24,500.
That's very clear, you get the, you're not the closest. 23,500.
The wire
That's good.
is giving, it's making me nervous.
So that's scratcher number one.
Yes.
And see, so how many, well, I'm not gonna ask you to disclose that, but so that's 23,500. That's an IRS rule. There's other, of course, there's other numbers. There's pre-tax dollars, after tax dollars, after blah, blah, blah. But your basic IRA, an IRA is independent retirement account for you and I, right? Because we don't have 401ks. A 403B is just another code that the IRS gave educators, that they're all the same, pre-tax dollars. Okay. What is the soonest you could start taking your money out? Your pre-tax dollars, what is the soonest? Yes.
62.5?
No, you're thinking about Social Security. Yes.
59 and a half.
Yes, it is. 59.5. One for you. That's very good. Okay, the next question is, when is it mandatory that you start taking it out? Mandatory. The laws have changed. Yes.
70?
Close. Yes.
72.
72. No, close. There was 72. Yes.
68.
No. Oh, you guys are all close.
69.5?
No.
No.
55.
No.
What?
Who said? No. Who said 72?
Oh,
Did you say? Okay, I'm going to give it to you. It's 73.
okay, well,
Close enough.
that's good.
See, these are numbers we don't know.
No, right.
Why don't we know these numbers? Because nobody educates us on it. You know what? I didn't know anything either. I didn't know all these numbers. And wow, I had a awakening. Wake up, Mario. Why don't you know these numbers? So anyway, so 73. Why? Because people are living longer and longer, right? So it used to be 70.5, then it was 72. And now it's 73. I wish it was 80 because
Yeah.
a lot of my clients say, I don't need the money. Do I have to take it out?
Uh-huh.
I go, well, you can give it to me and I'll go. I'll take a nice cruise and I'll send you. Make the rules. But the IRS wants their money because they want you to start paying your taxes. So I tell people, you know what you could do? Take the money from your pre-tax dollars and find another account with the after tax and stash it over there. I don't know. Take it, it doesn't matter. So one more question. Oh, I love this one. And I'm going to give you a hint. It's not your home. What is your biggest asset? Yes.
House?
Time?
Yeah.
Clothes? I know, I'm looking for specific, yes.
I like health.
Health is very important, of course, no. I know it's a tough one. Nobody, it's funny because we don't, what's that? No,
Health?
Your mom.
Your
habits?
You might as well just throw them all out there. Well, it's you. It's you. It's your ability to get up and come into this office, go to the meeting, go to work. So I'm gonna give this one to Simon. Our biggest asset is ourselves. We are our asset. I know we don't think that way, right? But God forbid, what if tomorrow morning you woke up, you're like, "Ugh, I can't move.
Right.
My back, I can't, well, now what? Well, now what? So you have to be prepared for the now what's. So the only person that's gonna take care of your older self is your younger self, which is today, right? You know, I know we hear all these things and blah, blah, blah. And I think what happens is people, there's so much chatter going on. And I told Simon, I went to Pepperdine, good for me, got a finance degree, that's wonderful. Guess what? They never taught me any of this stuff. I graduated and I still didn't know. I learned statistics and accounting, which are good things to know. But I didn't learn the basics, right? And so where do we learn these basics? We have to stumble upon, you know. So what happens is I've seen a lot of financial advisors throw graphs and all kinds of numbers on the boards. And here's what happens. People are embarrassed because they don't know what the heck is going on. They don't understand anything. So we complicate it. It's not that complicated. I keep it very, very basic. Keep it simple. The KISS theory. Keep it simple, sweetie. I'm not going to say the other word. Sweet. So yeah, and be sweet to yourself. So anyway, that's unfortunately, I think that's what happens. So you get so confused, you do nothing, right? Even if you want, who are you going to trust? I don't know. I mean, I think that's what happens because I hear it a lot. I hear it from my clients. You know, God, that was so confusing. I don't know what they're talking about. Heck, I don't either. So, so what does retirement look like? It looks like the weekend every day. 7 days a week, you're retired, right? You have fun and spend money. Ooh, isn't that what we do on the weekends? We spend money, we travel, we have fun. Well, that money is going to come from somewhere, right? So retirement is different to different people. Some people want to travel the world. Others want to send their grandkids to college. Others want to get a paycheck every month while they're not working because they're used to getting that paycheck, other than Social Security, of course. So how soon can you get Social Security? Sorry, I'm out of scratchers, but it's a good question.
62?
Yes, 62. And that's a good manager for you. I have to get you another one. And when is the maximum that you must take it out? How long can you wait?
Till 70?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Very good. My husband's getting ready to retire and he's exactly at that point. So yeah, so
Very good.
I know.
So 70, well, it isn't bad. You know what? It's a very independent individual thing because some people say, well, it's my money. I'm 62. I'm taking it out now. Who knows if it's going to be there? Others say, whoa, wait a minute. 8% every year. I think I'll wait till I'm 70.
Yeah.
So it's very individual, but you must take it by 70.
Yeah.
And that's the rule. But it does go up every year after your full retirement benefits, right? 8%. I don't know if you could find an investment for 8% guaranteed. I'll take it. I don't think there's one. So anyway, yeah, so you can take it, the latest you could take it is 70. So my message is really simple. Here's my message. What's so funny over there? I don't want to miss anything. No, the best way to predict the future is to create it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, to a degree. I didn't bring my crystal ball because it was foggy. I couldn't see the future. So I left it at home. So you create the future by applying yourself as much as you can. And I'm not even going to bother with the slides. It's already time enough, right?
Yeah.
So I wrote a book. It's a little paperback. And at the end of each chapter, I have a physical fitness tip. And I thought that was a good little twist. I couldn't resist. Yeah. So here's what I'll offer you guys. I have my business cards. Let me give you my phone number. I thought I had more business cards. I have my, one more thing. I'm a Medicare agent. Don't ask me how I got into that, but I did. As in teaching people a lot about money and so on, somehow everybody kept asking about Medicare. I said, Medicare? So I became a Medicare agent. So if anybody needs help when they're turning 65, you guys are way too young for that. So my phone number, I'll give you my number. If you'd like to meet with me one-on-one, I will offer you a book signed by me. Who knows? It could be worth a lot of money. I don't know what it's worth right now, but you could buy it on Amazon, but I will give you one for free. My number is 714-309-8595. 714-309-8595. If you'd like to text me and I'll get back to you. And I do have some business cards if you guys want a business card. I'll also hang out for a little bit and you can ask me questions or whatever you like. And you guys are fun and you're a good group.
Thank
Thank you very much.
Thank
So if you want to get more information, please make sure to get her business card, set a time to meet with her on a one-on-one. Like I mentioned earlier, I spent literally 20 minutes with her and she definitely provided me with some value. So she's going to stick around for a bit. If you want, you can set some time to speak with her. So, all right, let's continue. Next slide. All right, listing pitches, buyers, needs and wants. Anyone? No one's working? Hey, wait a minute. Yeah, what's going on? Eric, yes, sir.
Just dropped the price in Lake Elsinore, 4-bed, 3.5 bath, gorgeous home, 625, 650. Books 2014. There's metal roof tax, but the owner will help out with that. So 625, big beautiful home in Lake Elsinore. If anybody wants to do open house, let me know.
Beautiful, awesome. Thank you, Eric. Anyone else? Coming soon. Who wants $100? No one wants $100. Wow. Interesting. Am I in the right group here today? Matt, am I in the Twilight Zone or something? I appreciate you guys. All right, let's go ahead and continue. Next slide. All right, next we got Fernando Diaz. I know there's been some talks around interest rates, so let's see. I did mix information, so
Yeah.
let's see.
The Fed cut rates today.
Yes.
Oh, you're quick to answer that. By how much? Who said that over there? Oh, all right. Steve Johnson. Steve,
There you go.
you get that. What does that mean now?
Buyers are gonna come up.
No, what is it? How does it affect rates? Anyone? Positively, negatively, or flat?
Positively.
Okay, it's positive, but right now it's flat, just to let you know. Reason being is because everything that they did was expected already to happen, so there was no shock or surprise in terms of what happened. But they are signaling 2 more cuts, so that means October and December, which is the next 2 meetings that they're gonna have. And they kind of poo-pooed a little bit on 26 because they're right now signaling only 1 rate cut for the whole year as of now, but that's only because of the current data that they have available to them. Okay, so that could change, because keep in mind, Chairman Powell is out in May, regardless of what happens, his term is up. So we'll see. But I would say that for the foreseeable future, we've already had a good chunk down, which means, as you guys know, the markets always think ahead. I've told you that many times. So it's already thinking lower interest rates across the board. Obviously, depending on what type of loan, I mean, rates on the conventional side, I've seen some stuff, high fives, like 5.8, 5.9, 6.61, depending on the parameters. Government loans are 5.5, 5.3 in some cases. So things of, if you look at where we were 45, 60 days ago to where we're at today, I mean, it's been a massive slide and a hold. It's not improving, but it's not getting worse. It's kind of holding there, which is nice. So we're seeing a lot of people that were pre-approved over the last year and a half come back. I think we have something like, I don't even know how many refinances we've already turned in. And there's something my assistant told me this morning about 12 on the calendar to be reached out today because they wanted to wait for this Fed meeting to see how it affected things. So I think overall, I saw a report that year over year, refinances are up over 60% right now than they were last year. So it goes to show you that people are making moves from one fashion or the other. Okay, I think the next thing is the buyers are going to come out of the woodwork, and in the next 30 to 45 days, as news trickles in and as all this takes effect, which will take some time to take effect. So I do think that we're in for a nice end of year, but more importantly, I think we're off to a really good start for the first quarter of next year. If this continues, I think a lot of buyers will step back in that were on the fence, kind of waiting to see. And I'm seeing it already because a lot of people want to know where they stand. They want to reevaluate themselves and kind of see, you know, how things are going. So I think that the next thing after they get the information is jump out, meet with their agents and start moving. So that is it. Generally, unless you have any other questions.
No questions?
Nothing? Talk about travel plans? Anybody do anything exciting? No. That's it.
Thanks, man.
All right.
All right, well, let's go ahead and continue. I think next is broker update. So what I want to share with you today is a little bit of the Abbott and also the TDS and the SPQ. So next slide, please. I'm getting a lot of questions regarding your agent visual inspection form, your Abbott, right? Does everyone know what an Abbott is? And it's okay. That's why we're having the conversation. Okay. Yes, no, maybe. Okay. You know that it's part of the process, right? When representing a client on a single, duplex, triplex, and a fourplex, that you must include an Abbott. And an Abbott is basically a visual inspection of the property that you are representing either party. If it's the seller, if it's the buyer, you have to. That's part of the requirements. All right. So the essential compliance guide for 1 to 4 unit transactions, navigating disclosures, obligations with confidence, and protect your client's best practice. All right, let's continue. Next slide. So the Abbott, the agent visual inspection. California law requires real estate brokers to conduct a reasonable, competent, diligent visual inspection of an accessible area up to 4 units. This is a mandatory inspection, applies to both the buyer and the seller's representation. So it doesn't matter who you represent. If you represent the buyer, you do one. If you represent the seller, you do one as well. Okay. And it's better known as the Abbott. Next slide. So the best practice, right? When conducting the Abbott, because I literally seen Abbotts that are completely blank. Nothing to report. That blows me away. Thank goodness it's not a KW associate, KW South Bay agent, you know, and that's coming from the other side. Either I hate to say it, the agent doesn't know or is too lazy to add. It's a protection. You know, because we are in a very sensitive industry, that this can go sideways really quick and really fast. Without the proper documentation, folks, this can be an essential part of the transaction that may put you in a compromised position because you did not take care of your client's best interest. Yeah. And this is part of our responsibility as real estate professionals. So the whole purpose of the Abbott is for clarity. The Abbott is not just a marketing tool. It's the purpose to reveal negative material facts that may impact the buyer's valuation of the property, right? Now, I don't want you to wear a hard hat, have your tool, your shoes, your ladder, climb up the roof. No. Okay, this is a visual inspection. As you're walking through the actual property, check what you can include on your Abbott and be very thorough with it as well. Folks, if this ever comes back where we have to go through a mediation arbitration, you know, you can't remember all of the details that transpired on the transaction, you know, 4, 5, 6 months ago, right? So it's important that you can document, because now you can go back to your file and says, okay, I do remember, thank goodness I disclosed this as part of my Abbott, right? Because what's here is valid, right? What's in that report is something that will jot your memory to realize, yes, I do remember putting on the document. Communications, right? Be direct, factual, and forthcoming. Avoid speculations, right? Or bragging or minimizing defects, right? Now, as you can see, there's a lot of cracks on the wall, right? Now, are you going to emphasize cracks are due to?
No, because you don't know about that.
You don't know exactly.
Yeah.
You're not going to speculate, you know, that these cracks were done because of a shake or something, right? You just don't do that. It's a speculation, right? Just like with anything else, a crack on the wall. We don't know. We're just going to identify that there is hairline cracks on the floor. That's it. Very simple.
Or if you see
Yeah.
a stain on the ceiling, you don't know
Yeah.
it's water damage.
Yeah, you don't go, I believe it's mold, right? How do you know it's mold, right? You don't know, just stain on the wall. Let the buyer do their due diligence. Now, the question I get a lot is, what if they ask you? Well, I'm not an expert. I don't know, but we could evaluate. Maybe we can ask the seller, we can ask the listing agent, maybe they have more information, right? But that's why it's also very important that we look at the TDS and the SPQ. And guess what? A lot of buyers don't even bother to look at it until it's too late. Then they realize when they're upset that something, the first thing is seller failed to disclose. You know how many times I've looked at these disclosures and it's right there, the seller did disclose.
Yeah.
But it's because the buyers are not, and the agents should be held responsible. It's your job, if you're representing the buyer, to go through the motion so they get a clear understanding of what they're signing off. Because guess what? This is a condition to continue the process. Once the buyer releases this as part of the condition, they cannot come back and say, well, I did not know. Because you know as much as I know that once they initial sign these forms, they acknowledge, they have read and have approved that document. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So you got to be really clear on that. And then the professional standard, document all findings thoroughly through protected parties and maintain professionalism and integrity, right? Which is already a must. Next slide. So documentation is your shield, the reality, right? Utilize the forms that are essential to your position, right? It's okay. Now, I always hear this quite often. I don't want to overkill, right? And put so much that it scares the buyer, right? And that does happen quite often. It's like I've seen Abbott's and I've seen TDS and I was like, wow, there's a lot of information in here. And all they're doing is just making sure they're protecting themselves, right? But it's our job and our duty to tell the buyer what they're getting themselves into. Okay. Now, it's not our position to advise them. They can only speak with who? That's it, maybe. I bet you're going to say they can always speak with you, Simon. Speak with an attorney, right? You know, they can always have that ability and opportunity to speak with an attorney, right? The attorney will advise them, well, here's your position, right? Now, a lot of the stuff is pretty self-explanatory, right? But, you know, it's really common sense for you to also, as a licensed professional, to know these documents too, the SPQ, the Avid, and the TDS, right? Because who is relying on your expertise? Your clients are. Yes, your clients are relying on your expertise to help them navigate this to get them to the finish line. Now, also remember one thing, all of the forms and disclosures that are provided, know that all properties are sold in as is condition, right? That's a given because there's going to be issues with the home. That's a given. Even new constructions, I can tell you, if I go to a new construction, I'm going to find some issues with the property.
No perfect house.
There's no perfect house. Yeah, you're going to see some stuff that you can document so that way you cover all bases based on the documentation that you have. Because we want all of our transactions to go as smooth as possible, right? We all want that. And for the most part, 90 to 95% of the time it does. You may have a hurdle, a challenge, but you get to the finish line, right? But having the right forms in place, documentations, and really educating your clients will give you that peace of mind, but more so is that they cannot come back to you and say, you guided me wrong. That's not a good feeling. Okay. But having the right documentation in place, the right information in place will protect us from any elements that come our ways to say, no, this is exactly what we had you sign. Read. This is what was said from the seller. And it doesn't matter if you represent the buyer or the seller, it's our jobs to explain and navigate these forms. Okay, next slide. Next slide. Thank you. Understanding aware of affirmative representation. Are you aware? Questions, right? Found on the TDS section 2B, 2C, and the entire SPQ. No means seller lacks knowledge, not that the condition does exist. Okay, so here's my thought in position, right? Is you need to let your clients know it's best to disclose anything and everything, right? Anything and everything that you feel may benefit. And I say benefit the buyer because at the end, I'd rather be able to sleep well at night that I divulge everything than the buyer come back and now try to sue us for failure to disclose, right? And guess who is the number one person that will let them know of something that the seller failed to disclose? The neighbor. The neighbors. Oh, by the way, hey neighbor, Simon. By the way, did you know? Happens all the time. So be mindful of these circumstances, folks, because it will happen. Okay? I'll share with you, it is a pending litigation, so I'm not privy to provide much information, but we represented the seller. It was an investor that bought the place from a wholesaler. The wholesaler limited documentation was given to the buyer at the time, who was the investor. That investor closed, that investor renovated, and that investor put the property on the market, and that investor used one of our agents. Everything went well. The buyer submitted offer got accepted. Buyer went through the due diligence, and 4 or 5 months later, there's a complaint letter from an attorney. Okay, and the complaint is that the seller failed to disclose that there was a serial killer that lived on the property. Yeah, a serial killer lived on the property. I'll explain. I thought that was funny as heck. Okay.
Yeah.
So I started doing a little bit of research and I went back to title and I started doing a serial a search on it. Okay.
You became an investigator.
So surprisingly, it's factual. Back in early 1982, he owned that property with his wife. And it was a local serial killer that owned that property up until he was convicted and arrested and prosecuted and eventually went to state prison. He eventually died, health issues, I believe. And the wife owned the property up into 2012. And then from 2012, it was sold, then sold again, and sold again, and sold one more time before this investor ended up buying it. So think about all of those elements. How in the heck are you going to know, right? If no one divulged that. But guess what? The neighbor that lived there, did you know that a serial killer owned this property? What? So they opened up a can of worms, started doing an investigation. It was media-worthy information. It is. If you look it up, yeah. What is that serial killer's name? It was called the sleeper. The creepers.
Grim sleeper.
Yeah. Someone said it. Yeah.
So what happened with him?
We're still in pending litigations. We're still back and forth. The sellers, and obviously they're being represented by an attorney, right? They're defending the case. We never got that information. Now, something of that magnitude, right, throughout the year should have been, acknowledged, right? Because a lot of people are very superstitious. Not that no one died on the property, folks. No one died, but just the mere fact that someone lived there, right? And again, you can weigh it out and say, how is that considered material fact? Well, because it definitely hit the news, right? It was something very serious, right? So I think something of that magnitude will definitely not help the desirability and the value of the property. It'll definitely, the buyer stated in her complaint that she wouldn't have bought this property if she would have known the history of this home. Not that it's our fault, because the agent did not know, the seller, because the investor did not know. Somewhere through the change of title, they failed, right? But now we have to prove our case and defend our case with something like this, and we don't know. They started with a ridiculous amount of money that they want, right? And now they put the property back on the market asking for more. So they're using that as ammunition. See, I'm trying to sell it, but I can't sell it because now I know, and I'm trying to sell it, but I have to disclose that. So they're using that position. So be very careful. Question? Well, the question is there a time limit? Something of this, if we would have known, there is no time limit, because it's stigma with this property. It's kind of similar to like the O.J. Simpson case. Remember Nicole Simpson, the house where she lived? I think throughout the years, it has to be divulged and disclosed, in my opinion, because someone will eventually say, I would not buy this place if I would have known. That's why it's crucial and vital that we disclose all that. In a simple, if they knew, they would have probably disclosed it and says, look, just for material fact, what we know, we haven't done any research, but you can do all the research and find that there is this individual that did own. If you do a title search, you can see all this information. So again, it's very important to document everything, right? As an example, right? Attic defects unknown to seller still may exist, right? The seller may not know. It's not like the seller's going to go inside the attic or the roof, right? We have to rely on third-party investigations, right? This is why we start the negotiations, because someone actually went on top, someone went into the attic, someone went under the house, and now we realize what condition of the property. And if that buyer decides to back out, which is perfectly fine, we have to now disclose all of the new material facts regarding the condition of the property. Well, Simon, I don't understand why. They didn't buy. Why do we have to divulge it? Because again, what if that buyer, the second buyer, uses the same home inspection company, and they say, "Oh, this house, I did an inspection a month ago, and we found all of these issues." There's the compromise. There's the issue. Does that make sense? Okay. Any thoughts, questions, concerns? Yes.
Question, it's like Harbor Gateway, there's a lot of environmental stuff. Like
Yeah.
I live close to 2 blocks away from a Superfund site. So how far away from that Superfund site do you have to disclose that information?
Repeat the question. I'm sorry.
So I live close to what used to be like a deed factory or some sort way back when, like 30 years ago.
Yeah.
But it's still a Superfund site. So it's designated that way by the EPA. But how far away from that location do I have to disclose that?
Yeah, anything that will impact the desirability of the property should be. That's why you have NHDs, natural hazard disclosures, right? Those disclosures will help with the scope outside of the subject property, right? That may impact, right? For example, South Central, you got the flight path, right? And the flight path passes through all these houses, right? You can smell the jet fuel, you can hear, and you can actually see the plane as they're going and landing into LAX. That is something that someone may not buy a property if that's where the property is located. So for us, even though we see it, hear it, we still have to document it. Even though it's not on our property, it still impacts our property. Does that make sense? Industrial, anything like a major freeway, your neighbors parties all the time until 4 a.m, right? I would document that too. There you go. So just kind of giving you that example. Next slide. Avoid misrepresentation claims, right? Verified representation. Never promise anything, right? Because that can be a liability trap as well, right? You want to document it and explain, look, please do all of your research and due diligence on the property and make sure that you're completely satisfied with the overall condition. And that's okay, that's perfectly fine. The buyer can still move on. Most people that understand are okay. I've bought in properties with dead people that have died on the property, not physically there,
Yeah.
but have passed away. And I'm okay because I'm not a person that's superstitious, right? And most people are not, they're okay. But then you have those individuals, I'm okay, let me move on. And that's fine. But if you are proactive from the very beginning, then you avoid delays and, ultimately wasting the buyer's time and the seller's time, stuff of that nature, disclose right off the bat. So that way, if you have a buyer that's serious and does not see that as an issue, then you're going to be able to close this deal and move on to the next one. Does that make sense? Okay, next slide. And then mandatory disclosure, provide all of the history documentation, seller's possession, regardless of age, include prior reports, inspections, and repairs. No time limits. Age does not eliminate disclosures, obligations. Even decades-old documents must be shared if it's available. Again, there may be a history regarding a specific property. There's no timelines. Now, I hear this quite often, and it is on the SPQ when it comes to death on the property. Death on the property does say that within 3 years, you have to disclose that. But here's the thing, if someone direct question says, hey, has anyone died on the property? And you think, well, I don't have to disclose, it's been more than 3 years. No, you still have to disclose it because that's going to come back to haunt you. The agent Simon says that there was no death, but in reality, there was. It just wasn't within that 3 years. But a direct question, you have to be truthful about it. And your client needs to be truthful. And we don't know what we don't know. We've never lived in the property, right? So even this, and I'll leave it with this, is this. Even if the seller has owned the property as an investment, right? As a rental for 25, 30 years, they cannot claim they don't know anything about the property. Well, I never lived in the property. Baloney. Throughout the history, you've had tenant issues, they have reported to you or your property management. You want to make sure that the property management has documentation of the history because that's something that can come back and haunt you. So that's not a good reason and excuse not to divulge or disclose because you have not lived in the property. You own it, you should know the history of your property. Yes?
Are these issues documented in the title report? So can you pull a title report and
Title report is only going to have like liens, mechanic liens, tax liens, child support liens, debt liens, encumbrances like solar panels that may have taxes and all that. HOA stuff will be untitled, but nothing that pertains to the actual physical of the home.
So it's not really documented?
Not on a title report.
No, I mean in general,
No.
not any legal.
The seller has to provide that and document it. And the beautiful thing, even on the TDS and the SPQ, it has where you can give more thorough explanation, and it does provide you with a supplement form that has all these blanks, and you can add as much and as thorough detail information for the sake of divulging and disclosing to the buyer, because the buyer needs to know what they're getting themselves into. Does that make sense? Cool. Next slide. I think this is the last one. And avoid misrepresentation. Is this the same one, affirm? Okay, next slide. Yeah, and just do your due diligence, conduct all visual inspections, document everything. When in doubt, disclose. Obviously, if you think that you have to think about it, and you might as well just disclose it. Play it safe, folks, okay, at the end of the day. Protect your practice through proactive, comprehensive disclosure practice. All right, cool. Next slide. Coming events. Yes.
It's visual disclosure, right?
Yes.
Do you need to go like flip switch if it's working, open faucet if it's leaking.
What is your opinion of a visual
So you don't
inspection?
touch, you just look.
Visual, okay? I said earlier, you're not gonna wear a hard hat. Go up
Simple stuff.
it may be simple, but you're missing the point. It's a visual inspection. You're just gonna walk. Your job is not to flicker switches. Check it's not just visual inspection. Whatever you think is relevant to the condition of the property, document it. That's why the buyer, yes, that's why the buyer hires a home inspection company, a plumber, contractor to do all that stomping, going on top. Let the experts do what they're experts at.
Even
You-
simple stuff you don't do.
Exactly. A quick reminder, ask your expert every Thursday, 1 PM to 2 PM. It will also be on Zoom, so this is a great opportunity to ask your agent leadership council hard questions, but these are the individuals that are working, closing deals, and ask them, what are they doing to generate opportunity? So every Thursday. Next slide. Contract classes every Friday from 10:30 to 11:30. This month in September, nothing but leases. I'm talking about leases and lease agreements and disclosures and all that fun stuff. We're seeing more and more lease transaction than ever before. And there's a lot of questions regarding, so dive deep into the conversation this Friday. Next slide. And then a lot of talk around ChatGPT, so training workshop, Friday, September 19th from 1 PM on Zoom. So if you're interested to learn more on how to use AI, please register for the class. Next slide. And then 1031, if you have clients that are interested in doing a 1031, Phil Edelwan will be hosting a class on Zoom Thursday, September 25th at 11 AM. Next slide. And Jason Edram, quick reminder, October 6th is just around the corner. If you have not registered, please do so. It's a $25 investment. It'll be here at the local Renaissance Hotel on the 6th from 9 AM to 12 PM. Next slide. And that concludes our team meeting. Thanks, everyone. Yes.
Training workshop, whatever you want to go as well, or we can see you later, if some make it.
Which class?